Welcome to the channel. Today, we're exploring one of the most dangerous rivalries in the modern world, the ongoing and escalating tension between Israel and Iran. This is a story of history, ideology, nuclear threats, cyber warfare, and the potential for a wider war that could shake the Middle East and beyond. Let's start from the beginning. Back in the 1960s and 70s, Israel and Iran had a strange but stable relationship. Iran, under the Shah, sold oil to Israel and quietly worked with them. But all that changed in 1979, when the Islamic Revolution in Iran overthrew the Shah and brought a hardline theocratic regime into power. The new leadership, led by Ayatollah Khomeini, viewed Israel not just as a political adversary, but as an illegitimate state that had no right to exist. From then on, Iran labeled Israel the Zionist regime and made hostility toward Israel a core part of its foreign policy. Let's fast forward to the modern era. One of the biggest sources of tension today is Iran's nuclear program. Iran says it's for peaceful energy purposes. Israel doesn't believe that. In fact, Israel sees the possibility of a nuclear-armed Iran as an existential threat, something that cannot be allowed under any circumstances. To prevent that, Israel has taken bold steps over the years, from alleged assassinations of Iranian nuclear scientists, to cyber attacks like the famous Stuxnet virus, which damaged Iran's uranium enrichment centrifuges. In parallel, Iran has built a vast network of proxies and allies across the Middle East. Iran supports Hezbollah in Lebanon, Hamas in Gaza, and various Shia militias in Syria and Iraq. These groups have one thing in common: they're all opposed to Israel and often attack it directly or indirectly. Israel, in response, has launched hundreds of airstrikes in Syria to stop weapons shipments from Iran to Hezbollah. Many of these strikes go unreported in the mainstream press, but they've been a regular feature of the conflict for years. Then there's cyber warfare, a new but crucial front. Iran and Israel have both used cyber tools to target each other's power grids, water systems, and military infrastructure. In some cases, the effects have spilled over into the civilian population. Now let's talk about diplomacy and global politics. Over the last few years, Israel has formed strong ties with Arab countries like the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, and even had quiet contacts with Saudi Arabia. These diplomatic moves, known as the Abraham Accords, are partly motivated by a shared concern: Iran's growing power in the region. From Iran's perspective, this looks like encirclement, a regional alliance forming against it. That only deepens Iran's desire to show strength, push back through proxies, and continue building its defense capabilities. The situation has become especially dangerous in 2024 and 2025. We've seen direct exchanges between the two countries, something that was rare before. Iran has increased its uranium enrichment closer to weapons grade. Israel has expanded its military exercises, and both countries are preparing for worst-case scenarios. And that leads us to the big question: what could happen next? There are a few possible outcomes. Scenario 1. The status quo continues, a tense standoff, with proxy battles, cyber attacks, and occasional military strikes, but no full-blown war. This is the most likely scenario, but it's also the most unstable. Scenario 2. A limited war breaks out, a short-term conflict that begins with a miscalculation. This could involve Israeli airstrikes on Iranian nuclear sites, followed by missile responses from Iranian proxies. The danger here is that even a small war can spiral out of control quickly. Scenario 3. Diplomatic engagement. This is the least likely, but not impossible. International pressure, shifting leadership, or economic collapse could push one or both sides to the negotiating table. And then there's the nightmare. Scenario 4. Full-scale war. If Israel and Iran directly attack each other on a large scale, it could draw in the United States, Gulf states, and possibly trigger a regional war that affects millions. Oil prices would skyrocket. Refugee crises would intensify. The global economy would take a hit. And the risk of a nuclear event, either through weapons or strikes on nuclear facilities, would become terrifyingly real. So, where does that leave us? This isn't just a political or military issue. It's a human one. The people of Iran and Israel, ordinary civilians, are the ones who suffer the most. And while governments talk strategy, the risk of war looms constantly in the background. As global citizens, it's important to stay informed, to understand the deeper causes behind these tensions, and to hope that diplomacy and wisdom prevail over conflict and destruction. If you found this video informative, please like, subscribe, and share it. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think this conflict can be avoided? Or are we heading towards something bigger? Thanks for watching. Stay informed. Stay safe. See you in the next video.